Hi, I'm Branch Whitney. We're just outside of Las Vegas, Nevada in Red Rock Canyon. What I do, my passion in life, is getting people to climb these fantastic mountains behind me so they can believe in themselves. What makes hiking around Las Vegas so different than a lot of other areas is this is more like the Wild West out here. Except for a few established trails, there's no other trails, there's no trail signs, so once you leave those trails, it's all wilderness, and you navigate these trails by piles of rocks we call cairns. What I've done is mapped out all these different hikes in Red Rock, over 120. So now you don't have the crowding, you don't have the deterioration of the environment if you only had, 10 or 12 trails. And these hikes that I've mapped out are more challenging for people that want to increase their fitness level and go to places very few people have seen, so they get that sense of accomplishment.
I've never heard of half these hikes before, and yet he has directions on a peak box up on top of mountains that you've never heard of, you've never seen, you've never talked about before.
My passion in life and what I'm doing right now is to get people to join what I call the 52 Peak Club. And these people go out and climb all these mountains around Las Vegas. What that does for the people, a number of different things. Number one, gets them in good shape. We've had people lose over 100 pounds. Number two, Vegas is kind of a tough town to get to know people. So when you're out in the mountains 2, 3, 4, sometimes 7, 8 hours with people, and they all share a common goal, you create this bond. And a lot of these people have become very good friends. So there's a social aspect. But the real thing is, and it took me a while to realize, is not that these people climb these mountains, and that's part of it, but the real mountain they climb is a mountain up here in their mind. When they can do that, they can become anything they want in life. And the hikes we do are not typical trail hikes. You literally have to climb up, walls and stuff. And there's places, if you fall, you're going to get hurt or possibly die. So people overcome their fear and start to believe in themselves. And that gives me a lot of personal satisfaction. I identified the best 52 peaks around Las Vegas. So each time a member climbs a peak with my hiking group, they get a playing card. And each card is a different peak. And like anything else, you have easier peaks and tougher peaks. The kings and aces are the tougher ones, and the easier ones are, say, like the other 2, 3, and 4s.
It forces you to try different hikes that you would normally never do before. You start with the 2s and you work yourself up, and you do harder climbs each time. To get a jack yesterday, we actually had to do this climb that 2 years ago I would have never dreamed of doing a climb like this. I was happy just doing little hikes, where you're walking, in or out 2 miles, that I was content with that. Now it's a challenge, it's a goal for me to do all 52. Today I'm doing my 40th card, and I am so excited that I've only got 12 cards left. I'm hoping to graduate into my goal in just a couple months.
So people, collect these cards once they climb a peak, and of course there's 52 cards, and once they get all 52 cards, they have climbed over 7,000 flights of stairs and hiked the equivalent of hiking from Las Vegas to Los Angeles. So it's a major accomplishment, and they get a plaque, and they're called a 53er. And these plaques really mean something to people. If you go on the website, you'll be able to read their little bios and how they really think a lot of these plaques, because it is an achievement, and you can't buy these cards, you have to earn them, which is kind of nice to earn things instead of being given things, because it really makes you feel like you've accomplished something, which you have. Well, I'm a real passionate person. My whole life I followed my passions. I'm not a 9-to-5 kind of guy that works a job. It's a labor of love. I've been doing this over 15 years. There's no charge to go on these hikes. I don't get rich off of doing this. It's more of a, giving back and helping people. I truly believe, a sense of accomplishment is important. So if I can have somebody accomplish something which is important to them, and I can be a catalyst, that to me is important, and it gives me a great sense of satisfaction. Especially when you talk to people or read books of real successful people, there's an underlying theme. It's to help people. If you can do that, not only will you be successful, but you're giving back. And that's a real important thing in life that, it took me a long time to realize. I mean, in my, I call prior life, I was a very hardcore gambler, and we weren't giving back anything. We were taking a lot of money from the casinos. And I mean, yeah, it was an interesting life, but that wasn't what really, got me going or really turned me on. This is much better, to help people achieve goals that are the goals that they want to achieve, and a worthwhile goal, not something that's not worthwhile.